Hey YouTube, this is Dawson Rider here with a review of WAP Series 01 Wizard Flame Styles. This line is in the same line as, or the same type of line rather, as the FMC series from Forze, the OCC series from O's, WFC from Double, and I guess you could date the origins back to the Decade Final Form rides, which just kind of created this sort of mid-class figure that's not quite a figure art, but it's not like an unarticulated vinyl. So anyway, that's a history for you, randomly. So in the past, FMC Forze series used the module gimmick for various mix and matching. The OCCs could match up its combos. The WFCs could, match its different guy memory sides. But these don't have any of that type of gimmick. They do light up, though. That is its main feature. We'll get into that in a second. I just thought I'd go over that first. I'll just take a quick look at the box, because it's a pretty neat box. You got a picture of the figure right here, and it says, "Action, Prees." And then you got this really cool wizard spell circle here. It's kind of hidden when you have the figure in there, all stored away, but I thought I'd pull that forward just 'cause it looked cool. Picture of actual wizard up here. It says WAP series up there. On the side it says slash strike. It shows him slashing. It does not come with those effect parts. Kick strike shows him kicking. And on the back it shows, look, it lights up. And then it shows picture of wizard, picture of the toy. So it's pretty neat packaging for this type of figure series. It doesn't really come with a whole lot, just the wizard sword gun in sword mode, which is just basically gray with the black fist, and gun mode, in which you have the open fist, and then like this little red thing for the energy. But that's really all it needs for this type of figure. Now the figure itself, I have to say, actually looks really good for this class of figure. I feel like they keep stepping it up a bit with the way these look. Like here, you got the red, like, jewel-like effect for his face. I don't know whether it's because it lights up or what, but it looks really good. It's got this sort of deep color, and it doesn't quite shine like the show, but it's got this really cool jewel quality that makes it look really good, and, like, the silver contrasts off of it well. And all the details on his head sculpt are really good. Like, I would almost think this is a figure art. It's so well done. And then here, for his chest here, the red parts on his chest are really well done as well. As you can see here where the button's going to be, it's really shiny, but here the sort of jewels on his chest are also this really dark red, and they actually look really good. And then the black sort of a matte finish, which feels really nice, and it looks really nice, and I feel like it captures the texture of his suit from the show very well. You even got some details of dragon pieces on his side here, which is really nice. The belt, given the fact that the belt's pretty basic, the belt actually looks pretty nice. Like, I'll bring in the FMC Forze real quick here in a minute, but it's not as well detailed. I think it's because the wizard driver is so basic, it lends itself to that. And then you kind of have his bottom cape pieces here, which are actually a soft plastic, which is really nice, because it looks like the figure art's going to be just a hard plastic, so I kind of prefer this. It looks more natural, and the finish looks nice. Nothing too much to speak of on his legs, they're just primarily black. The red paint on his ankles does look good here. You saw the back already. And then, of course, his main feature is that he can light up. Press this button, he lights up. It actually looks pretty cool. Like, on camera right now, look how he's like some sort of evil jack-o'-lantern, but it looks really cool. I don't know. It amuses me. Like, I talk about Toku fans being really easy all the time, but I don't know, it's just kind of fun and cool. But articulation-wise, you do have this nice little hinge joint here. You get some nice all-around movement. You only get the single elbow joint here. I almost forgot to mention, here you get his ring. It's not very highly detailed, it's just red, but you do have his ring there. And then the driver on ring, which just looks like a bottle cap. And then you do get articulation on his fingers. You can move both of these fingers sections up and down independently for grasping things and all this sort and stuff like that. His waist can swivel around 360. You don't have any like up and down movement like a figure art. He does have a nice joint here on his leg. It is a bit hindered by this, but the rubber plastic does lend itself for movement. You do have a single knee joint here, swiveling at his foot. It is on kind of a nice joint, so you can get some slight sideways movements and stuff. No toe action, so not quite as articulated as a figure art. I'd put him probably one step above old, like Bandai of America Power Rangers figures. Just put the weapon in his hand, but overall, I'm actually really digging this figure a lot. Like, I always get at least the first one in this series just to have a figure to represent it for a bit till the figure art comes out, but I think I'm going to end up collecting this whole line because I think they look really good, and they're a little bit cheaper than the figure arts, and they're just cool, and it lights up. Now, before I bring in FMC4s, I just to take a look at them, I do think they could have done something a little cooler with this. They could have added the light up feature as well, but it would have been neat to possibly include some spell type effects, which would have been cool. I know they just recently announced the spell effects for the figure art, but it would have been cool for each of the styles to each come with like some sort of spell, maybe like 2 or 3, and you can mix and match them if you wanted to, or even just for the figure itself. That would have been really cool, I think, that they could have done. Like, the light up thing's neat, it's just not as fun for just like messing around with as like the FMC or the OCC were, but I think that the figure looks better than those. Here he is, just real quick. Unfortunately, the other ones, OCC and the Final Form rides that I have, are in storage, but here he is next to the FMC Forze. As you can see, pretty much same scale. And you can see here the driver here is all painted one color, as opposed to Wizards. So I think it's simplistic design lends to it. And I just think that the quality has been upped a little bit for these figures. But so overall, I think this is a really nice figure. If you don't want to spend the money for the figure arts or wait, I think this is a decent alternative and I can recommend it. And the light up thing's kind of cool. Like I said, it really would have been neat to do some sort of spell effect thing, but otherwise I'm very pleased with this figure. I'm pleased with it. Anyway, I really like this figure. I can recommend this line. I think it's a nice sort of cheaper alternative if you don't want to get the figure art, especially since right now Flame Styles is the only one that's retail. The other 3 land, hurricane, and water styles are all going to be exclusive, so you're going to have to pay even more for those. So if you're looking for an alternative way to get these figures cheaper, even though I don't have the other ones in hand, I think this will be a great alternative for you. But so yeah, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the RR podcast, writersrangersrambles.com. Until next time, it's Dawson Rider, signing out.